scientific method cannot justify the scientific method. Therefore, it itself is a dogmatic religious presupposition.
Welcome. Let's make sure that all of our nerds can hear us. And that was Amid the Ruins, 1453. Be sure and check out Amid the Ruins, longtime Jay's Analysis supporter. Some of those badass beats that you hear. That's not me. People always think that's me. That's not me. That's Amid the Ruins, 1453. Jamie is with me tonight. What's up, Jamie?
Welcome.
Who's that?
Patrick.
The Patrick.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yes.
That's a good Patrick from you.
Yeah.
But do not do your red boogers. Don't do your sliced alone.
You hate that one. Are you telling me these are red boogers?
Worst impersonation of all time, but that's okay. Sometimes the bad can be funny. I think we have a guest tonight, a comedian. Comedienne. What's the proper social justice terminology? Comedienne. The female version. Comediette. She's a comediette. Her name is Chrissie Mayr. Mayr. Like John Mayer. Right? She said it's like John Mayer, but not John Mayer. Even though it's like John Mayer, but spelled nothing like John Mayer. Your body is a wonderland. What's that other John? I want to run through the halls of my high school. I want to something. I want to be whimsical.
Does he say that really?
No.
Oh, he would though.
Remember that you heard some crazy story about him? Never mind. We can't say that. We'll get sued. We can't say that. Can't say that.
Yeah,
Crazy stories.
Yeah.
But we all know that.
Crazy secondhand stories.
We all know stars are involved in crazy stuff, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. What's her name?
Chrissy Teigan.
Chrissie Mayr trolled and tweeted Chrissy Teigan into oblivion. She lost it. So we're going to talk to her about this craziness in the world of the Tweeter sphere, which kind of went viral, and it turned into this big ordeal. Hence, we were on the stream with Tripoli and Isaac Weishaupt last week. We had a really good show. Be sure and check that out if you missed it. But where's she at? Is she ghosting us? Is she ghosting us?
Oh no, did she forget?
She didn't forget.
Oh.
She may not know how to work Zoom. I don't know.
Someone said, do Kurt Russell in Big Trouble in Little China. The check is in the mail.
Check's in the mail.
Yeah, it's all in the crinkling of the eyes. Like,
It's all in the reflexes.
yeah.
Check's in the mail. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Somebody talking about Rockstar Energy drink. Is this a boomer thing? There was some tweets talking about telling us what to talk about. I might read a few of those. I don't know, but I was gonna. Since she's a comedian, I was gonna get her to roast me, and I got a roast for her back if she does roast me. So I got some pretty good ones. We couldn't get anybody. We tried having a roast of me the other night on the stream, and nobody had any good ones except for a mediocre one. So we're gonna try again with an actual comedian to roast me.
I always like those mean tweets.
I know, they're funny.
Yeah.
And I was actually getting somebody in the chat said I look like a TV healing evangelist. I was gonna say I would feel like that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Put your hands on the screen. I'll heal your gout. I feel that somebody in the audience has a bad case of gout right around the testicle of the chin right here. Put your hands on the screen there underneath your chin testicles, and let's heal your gout. They got a fabulous case of the gout.
Mm-hmm. That's Southern gout, right?
I don't even know what gout is, but it just sounds funny. But anyway, if she doesn't come to the show, I'll just roast her, make fun of her. I got a really good one to make fun of her. But anyway, maybe I didn't send the right email. I don't know. I look like a young John Hagee. Damn, that's a good roast right there. Whew.
That is good.
My feelings are hurt now.
You look like a young Tex Mars. I'm Wanda Mars. This is my husband, Tex Mars.
Friends, the Illuminati are sending small Jews into space.
Spiders spinning.
No, it's spinning in space.
Yes.
Yes. We got a lively chat tonight.
I like to read it.
But I keep having to check to see if she's in the waiting room. Oh. So, we actually healed somebody's chin testicle gout. They had a bad case of that chin testicle gout. Nice. And tonight we're gonna see if women actually are funny. That's on the table tonight. We got a woman comedian, and I'm like, a woman comedian? Is that the joke? Are women funny? I'm just joking. Funny. Maybe one or two somewhere out there.
Kristen Wiig is funny. She's probably my favorite.
Anna Faris is funny. The chat says you're pretty.
Thank you.
one person in the chat, so you're pretty. I don't know.
Jamie, don't read the chat. Okay.
It is true. If you read the chat, you get distracted. But do we have any housekeeping while we're waiting? So we will have the part 2 of the Dystopia show. That'll be up later tonight. I apologize for being so late on that, y'all, for the subscribers, but that'll be up later. And then what else have we got? The replacement for Super Chats is Streamlabs. I think some of you know this by now. So if you want to ask questions and support the show, you can do that via Streamlabs, which is just Super Chats on a different channel. Yeah, we're going full on to 700. I'm just going to start healing you from the screen to get Super Chats, if that's what works. That's what. Because I just found out what I have to pay in taxes today, so I'm in a bad mood. I'm not in a good mood. I pay more in taxes this year than I made the whole year 5 years ago. That's where we're at. Mm-hmm. I don't know about that. That's a bunch of nonsense, but
I don't exist to the IRS, so there she is.
There she is. She made it. Finally. Hi. Hey, what's up? You made it.
Sorry for my tardiness.
That's okay. We'll assign you homework for being late.
Let's see. Yeah.
I'll make sure we gotta fit you. We just want to make sure that you're really, really tiny on the screen. So I'm just trying to squeeze you down to where the audience can barely see you.
I have to be tiny? Okay.
So you're way up there on the bookshelf. I'm just kidding. We want to make you big.
Did you start recording yet?
We are live.
Hi!
You got 200 and plus nerds just rolled in. We just started.
Hi, nerds.
Yes. So the Jay's Analysis family, they're all called the nerds. Welcome to the Jay's Analysis nerds.
I'm sorry I didn't throw on more makeup.
We didn't expect you to do anything, so.
Wow, a white jacket. You look like you just came from a picnic in the Hamptons.
I look like a damn TV preacher con man. That's what.
Yes, you do look like.
I was healing people's gout a minute ago.
Yes,
I had my hands on the screen.
I feel like I'm about to start speaking in tongues.
Chrissy, I feel that you have a bad case of the gout underneath your left breasticle.
Oh,
under that left breasticle, you got a bad case of the gout. Put your hands on the screen right now.
Preach on it. Testify. Suck the evil out of me.
All right, now I have watched a lot of your podcasts in the last few days, so I feel like I've imbibed your spirit, and I'm high on it. Right, I'm a little drunk on that Chrissy spirit right now. So we want you first. Well, let me introduce you.
Hold on a second. Let me shut a door. Hold on a second, because I hear the TV in another room.
I'm going to introduce you while you go away, and I'm going to make up a bunch of bullshit. Chrissy is a New York native. She's appeared on America's Got Talent, which is an NBC show. She's been on Fox's Laugh, Fox's Punchline.
I'm really back now. I'm really here.
That's okay. I'm just
We're
reading
fully
your
doing
bio.
it. No more interruptions, except maybe to get wine.
I'm reading your bio. Getting that box wine. Get that.
Yeah.
Get that wine, mom, box wine out. Mm-hmm. Get your Virginia Slims too, girl.
No, I would never smoke.
She was on the Chris Get Hard show, the Wendy Williams show. She's been on Sirius XM. She has a show on Compound Media, which is good. That's what I've been watching. I've been listening to her podcast too. She's been on Gas Digital Media. She has done comedy at Stonewall show at the landmark Stonewall in New York City, which received critical acclaim in the New York Times, Time Out New York, Village Voice. Chrissy and Comedy at Stonewall have been selected as part of the New York Comedy Festival 3 times. Mm-hmm. She's been in the top clubs in New York, and she hosts The Wet Spot, a Dr. Ruth style for our generation sex, dating, relationship show. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, no, that's a good intro. Okay. Yeah. I had the longest running LGBT stand-up comedy show at the Stonewall Inn that ran for like 6 years, and then. Yeah, I love that you're calling the Wet Spot like modern day Dr. Ruth, because I like to have people on who know more than me, which is typically porn stars, other comedians, and the occasional like sex therapist, counselor. We explore kinks and fetishes, not like on. Well, yeah, there was one guy that got wrapped up in saran wrap, and we all took turns stepping on his balls. I couldn't do it because I was like, those are balls in there.
Whoa, dude, that's some out there stuff. Now we're going to talk about because you're not normally the kind of guest that we would have here. But the reason that you're here is because we want to ask you about multiple things. I want to ask you about the Chrissy Teigan tweet thing, because I don't know exactly what happened. But before we get to that, you are kind of I don't know how into woke conspiracy world you are or have been, but how did you move into that? Is it just a natural affinity between comedy and that?
No, I blame it 100% on Sam Tripoli. I was in LA in March and I did his show. I did a Tinfoil Hat podcast, and the episode I did with him, I was like, he's like, what conspiracies are you into? I'm like, well, for sure, aliens. Let's talk about that. And the more I hung out with Sam and the other guys on his show, and just through talking, and what got me, I guess, sort of like red pilled was hearing over and over, like, okay, Tom Hanks is a big pedophile in Hollywood. And I was like, but he seems like such a sweetheart. Like, how could it be, And then I started looking into it more and more, and like the signs on his social media and the Isaac Cappy thing. And then it just went, when I got back from LA, it just clicked. And then it was several nights of being up all night, not sleeping. I watched the Fall of the Cabal series, the 10-part series, and I watched the Out of Shadows documentary, and it just was like over a period of a few nights, I was just like, oh. Oh,
you watched Out of Shadows?
Yes, yeah. Did you?
Half of that material, the first half of that is from my stuff, by the way.
Really?
Yes.
They took it from you?
Mm-hmm. And I've talked to the girl. The girl who did it. So.
Oh gosh,
yeah.
So it's a
so I wrote 2 books, and but that's okay. That's a different thing. But anyway, so welcome to the realm of the woke. We're glad to have you in the woke sphere, and I want to ask you about comedy, right? So I'm glad that you're new to the woke. But I mean, you're not new, right? Like you said March, but I heard you say on a podcast that you kind of had listened to conspiracy stuff longer than that, right?
Yeah. I've been listening here and there, but I think something happened in March where it really clicked in, and I started doing like deeper dives on some of the deep state stuff, where I was like always curious, like on the surface, reading about it. But
isn't it weird that Isaac Cappy ended up dead?
Very weird. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he was definitely killed. But yeah. It's just interesting how, even today, the news that came out about Twitter cracking down on QAnon people, I just was reading this before I came on, that they suspended 7,000 accounts, QAnon accounts, and then 150,000 that are like associated. Oh my God, you got to read this. Twitter just came out with all these new, if you go onto Twitter safety, all these terms and conditions, they're basically going to they're putting into words that they're shadow banning anybody who mentions any sort of QAnon hashtag. So I assume that's where we go one. I assume that's like pedowood. I am assuming like all of the QAnon related hashtags are going to be flagged and shadow banned. They've already permanently deleted so many accounts, and it's very scary stuff. It's very concerning, but it's also like, oh wow, I guess Twitter is maybe intimidated, scared.
Yeah, I think they're preparing for the possibility, the next wave of what will come from the Ghislaine Maxwell information. I mean, they know that's coming, so they're kind of preempting that, I think.
Oh wow.
I mean,
yeah. Okay, yeah. So right, like if more people get named, yeah. I mean, like people already with the Chrissy Teigan thing, I had no idea that was going to happen. Like,
so break that down for us, because I saw she had said all these crazy, weird, creepy tweets for a long time, and then how did you come into that did you just go at her, or what exactly happened? I
feel like I just kind of stepped in it with her. So I had been noticing too, people had been sniffing at Chrissy Teigan for a while, like, there's a lot of pictures of her with the Clintons. She's part of this woke cancel culture thing. She's like the self-proclaimed mayor of Twitter, and she loves nothing more than canceling people and companies that don't align with her like super wokeness. So I think it was like my boyfriend and I were like, checking out her tweets, because people are like, yeah, she's been deleting tweets. I'm like, So we go on this this website called Social Blade, where you can see it's sort of like social media analytics, but I use it mostly for Twitter. And like I'll go on and see who looks like they bought followers. Like with comedy, sometimes you'll see people go through and they'll clean house on their tweets. Let's say if they're up for a job at SNL, there'll be a period of like they go dark, they privatize, they comb through all their shit, and they make sure like there's nothing fire-worthy on there. Although I guess in the case of Shane Gillis, like apparently not enough, although that was like a podcast episode of his, not necessarily a tweet. That got him fired from SNL. So I did that, and I did that for Chrissy Teigan because I was like, let's see like what's going on here. She's got 13 billion followers. So I look her up on Social Blade for her Twitter. You could do it for Instagram too, but I did it for Twitter. And I see in the media category, there's like in the media is your tweets, anything that's text, video, anything that you've tweeted out. It was this big red number of almost 29,000. And I was like, whoa, that's a lot of deleted tweets. When I combed through my Twitter account once years back, just to make sure there was nothing like really crazy on there. And mostly just unfunny half jokes, like half premises early in my comedy career. I deleted 10, 12 tweets tops, but here I see 29,000 had been deleted. So I just tweeted like at Chrissy Teigan, and I don't really go at celebrities. I just was like, well, this is worth pointing out. This is worth shining a mirror on. So I said, well, it looks like a lot of celebrities have been really busy since Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested. Chrissy Teigan, why did you delete almost 29,000 tweets the other day? Basically, like, if you're not guilty, why are there so many deleted tweets here? Like, do you have something to hide? Hashtag Pedowood, hashtag Save the Children, hashtag Where We Go One. And I was doing a bunch of podcasts that day. It was like one after the other. And then I see my boyfriend, he's kind of like freaking out behind my laptop. And I was like, what's going on with him? And then as soon as I was done, he was like, she retweeted you. And I was like, what? So I looked. And she did a retweet and comment and said, actually, it's 60,000 tweets. And I deleted, 60,000 tweets because of, idiots like you thinking that you're, operatives because I'm tweeting about toddlers and tiaras in 2013. I'm doing this because I'm afraid for my family. To which I responded like 60,000 tweets about toddlers and tiaras, like, and you're calling me the weirdo? Like, that's... And to which, like, all of, I guess, Q and other people following her came out with a fucking firestorm of receipts and screenshots of all of her questionable tweets over the years. These tweets that go back to, like, 2009. And I think it's a combination of, like, the arrogance that some celebrities have, that just sort of like they're invincible, they're untouchable. And these were the early days of Twitter, like 2009. But her worst tweeting years were, like, 2009 to 2013. And I think Twitter was just really getting started and picking up juice. And this was pre any of the Pizzagate stuff coming out. So this is all pre-Trump. Nobody had any idea about any of these Pizzagate terms. So and I love pizza. I have never tweeted about pizza in my whole life. And it's probably my favorite food, And I've been on Twitter since like the very beginning, like maybe 2007 or something. And, she would say, like, I love pizza. I woke up with pizza on my chest. Brad Pitt handed me pizza. And then,
one of her tweets, I just pulled up her worst tweets, says, I'm going to jail over pizza.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Who would
she had a
say
tweet
that
that said,
Who's the guy? Why can't I remember his name? The guy with the laptop. Weiner. One of the tweets was, "I'm gonna Anthony Weiner this kid."
It says, "I'm about to Anthony Weiner this kid."
Yeah.
What?
2011. Yeah.
She likes to think that she's funny, but she's not a comedian, and like her tweets are not, they're not jokes. There's no like setup, there's no punchline. It's just, they're like half thoughts. So it's like, I'm not buying like, oh, it's sarcasm, like let her, but it's like, if you're sarcastic, why would you say things like, where can I watch a teenager give birth?
Yeah.
You know, which was one of her tweets. Like, why do these toddlers have like such, their tummies are so strong. Like, you're being creepy,
Yeah, I mean,
and
some of these are really
Hashtag
like way over the line.
toddlers and tiaras. She says, seeing little girls do the splits half naked is just ... I want to put myself in jail.
Yeah. And people have, tried to come to her defense, like, well, she's saying that because she's grossed out by it. But it's like, then be really clear that this grosses you out. Don't say things like, oh, a little boy in the pageant now, finally some eye candy for me.
She says, I just saw a baby that looked like a porn star.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah. A dirty do anything porn star.
Yeah.
And then she had this one tweet where she was sort of like paraphrasing, I guess, this friend of hers, Kevin Shockney. Nah, he just said the cleanest and best pleasure is to have sex with a 13-year-old up until that 2012. This
is just,
if you know about the Pizzagate code words, why the hell are you joking about this? Why would you put yourself next to that at all?
well, isn't that what that gun guy said too? He said, oh, it was all just jokes, but it was like this outlandish number of thousands of comments like this. Like, is that really that funny? And I mean, like,
it's definitely not funny. And she's not a comedian, and these aren't jokes. It's talking about, oh, I'm gonna go. It's okay if you like toddlers and if you like the show, but like this goes way above and beyond that. And the fact that you are not only responding to me, I was like a nothing follower. She probably looked at my tweet and was like, oh, she's a troll. She's not verified. She's got 15K followers. The best thing she could have done would be to ignore it, not to correct me, to say it's actually double what you think it is. Because to me, that's like, she is so guilty. This is such a huge overcorrection. She either has a team or bots or whatever deleting these tweets, anything that has to do with pizza, toddlers, anything. This is like, these were a third of her total tweets that were deleted.
Yes, and presumably you'd have to hire some company to go and to do the blocking of 1 million people. I mean, that's ludicrous.
That's definitely like blocking bots. Like, I think it was anybody who tweeted at her or retweeted somebody who added her. Just like, and then so many people I was seeing on Twitter like, wow, I've never tweeted at her, yet I'm blocked. Everybody was like, huh, why am I blocked?
Right.
I know what parents go through when they are forced to tie their kids up in the basement. You have to do it, but it's icky. Am I right? This was pre her having kids. So what's that about, Chrissy Teigan?
Jim Bob says Chrissy Teigan looks like Lando Calrissian underwent a transformation surgery. Maybe. Hello, what have we here?
If you have nothing to hide, you're completely innocent, why are you deleting this many tweets? Why? And it's like, I clearly triggered something with her. It's like, it's not part of my normal thing to like go after celebrities. Like I've as I've become more and more into like conspiracy theory stuff, it's like, okay, I'm just sort of quietly learning on my own. I'm not like reaching out to people, but this really triggered her. And also I was, I turned around, I was so backed up by so many people with so many receipts and people who were like skeptical of her for a long time now, that it hit, like it was smoldering and there was kindling, and then I just lit a match and poured a little gas on it, and now Twitter today announces, and they use Chrissy Teigan as like their prime example of why they're like cracking down on QAnon, which is, it's like absurd, because it's like, well, what are you doing about Antifa? What are you doing about like the radicals and Black Lives Matter? And it's like, yes, Twitter is a private company. They can do what they want. Yes, we have Parler. Okay, we have some of these other social media apps popping up that are more free speech, but it's very concerning to see Twitter doing this. It's crazy how much power she has.
Did you see in the news today the federal judge's son shot dead and her criminal defense attorney husband critically injured after a gunman dressed as a FedEx driver ambushed the home 4 days after she was assigned a case linked to the Epstein trial?
And that's why I always order through UPS, No, it's really terrible. And that's obvious to anybody, what's going on. It's
absolutely right. I mean, this is the thing that I think a lot of people don't realize, is how prevalent and real all of this blackmail and traumatize the, people underneath you stuff is. I mean, Jamie wrote a book about it that is really good, by the way, if you're in the audience. It's called Hollywood Mind Control. You can get that at jasonelsis.com. And, you talked about this for a long, long, long time. and now you're seeing it all out in the news,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. The news has just caught up to what I talked
Yeah.
about 10, 15 years ago. I mean,
Wow.
I grew up on red pills. So
Yeah, you had a
as a child, I had red pills
you
for
had a
breakfast.
conspiracy
so.
mommy.
Yeah, they put them in your cereal. You're like,
Yeah.
Fruit Loops.
Did you have a conspiracy-minded family, or were they like normies, or what? What was that?
Oh my God. No, like not intellectually curious, like question authority, question media, and my brain didn't even begin to go there until college, and then I had to fight through a lot of like that was mostly sort of like radical left, very liberally brainwashing type. Like I remember I was in a class that was like ecofeminism, and then I left the class being like, oh, I guess men ruined the planet, you know. So it was a little bit confusing, but you shake that out when you get into the working world and you're like in reality, you know. My dad, well, not a great example. I mean, he was a German immigrant. He's a landscaper, right? All growing up, never like enough money. Parents always making it known how much everything costs. And he would always say, like, he had stereotypes, like the groups of people that would screw him over when he would do landscaping work, and like, oh, the Jews, like they never pay me the full amount, and the blacks, like, just like
Well,
any
you can
sort
return
of
it. Say a
baby
German
boomer.
landscaper, right? Like, so every bush was just a tiny mustache. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be so funny. He wasn't like, question everything. He was more just like real cynical
Boomer?
and really boomer, absolutely boomer. Yeah, like both my parents baby boomers, and my mom passed away like 2 years ago. My dad's like 73, 74 right now. And yeah, his thing was always like pretty negative, pretty much like anybody who is a professional of any kind, doctors, lawyers, they've lied, cheated, they're the worst people. There's no good doctors or lawyers, which I think is too cynical, like too far the other way.
She's having a full-on episode seeing other
Sorry,
non-existent people. She's talking about
Puppy in there?
I just feel like my microphone's picking up a lot of background noise. So yeah, I guess Dad's influence was more like, and I wasn't really rubbing off on me. I was like, okay, he despises lots of groups of people because of his own like personal experiences. But no, I mean, like they weren't really like super creative.
So how did that
people.
produce a comedian? Did you do the theater route in high school and college and all that?
Yeah, how did it produce a comedian? Well, I'm the youngest of three, and like I guess statistically, the youngest in the family has the greater odds of being a comedian. I don't know why. I guess because you spend years observing, your siblings, and I think I wasn't heard by my parents really. Like I felt like if I complained about anything at all, like I was making a big deal of things, like anything from like, oh, turn on the heat in the winter. It's like shut up, it's like throw on a sweater. I just didn't feel like heard very much, and you bottle things up for years.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What?
So I found just by the time I was like in my 20s, I started doing improv comedy, which was, I wasn't quite a theater kid, but lots and lots of theater kids are attracted to improv because it's kind of like
That's
acting.
what we did. That's what I did.
Yeah. And it's great, but it's just like, how many $400 classes am I really going to take, and I didn't really see myself progressing. Like I was pretty good, but I wasn't making house teams. So I was like, all right, I should probably move on to something a little bit more autonomous. And then, so I did a one-woman show. Then I did stand-up. And I felt like as I was doing stand-up, I could truly be so honest. And I still feel now like I'm more honest with a group of strangers that I'll never see again than I am with my own family. Like I feel more comfortable speaking my own truths to people I'll probably never see again. It's also, there's like kind of no consequence in a way. It's like these people aren't, the stakes, I guess, it's weird. They're weirdly lower and also higher. Like personally, the stakes are lower because they don't know you. There's no history. There's nobody to disappoint. But it's also higher because it's like if you're not making this crowd laugh in a couple minutes, they're going to check out. So it's like when I could meld the two was kind of when I do like my best work. And I still don't have material about my mom getting cancer and dying. I haven't like formed really good jokes about, you know, the way that my dad was growing up. So that's like the work of who you really are, like your most entertaining with your friends self. Like I'll sometimes do better on podcasts and be funnier on podcasts than I am on certain stage shows. So that's like the work of bringing them.
So here's some ideas.
Together.
As a woman comedian, you could talk about chocolate. You could talk about your period. You could talk about your mom. You could talk about pets. What else do women comedians? I'm just joking, by the way. That's the
stereotype is that comedians like, well, you just, female comics just talk about their periods. It's
kind of accurate.
I guess, it's a bad stereotype. It's, but you can't deny if that's who people have seen, you just got to try to do your thing and hope enough people like it.
Now you got you got censored a few times, right? Like you had some things where people got a little fussy and got it pulled or something like that. You mentioned, I think, to Tripoli was talking to you about that.
Yeah. I think, let's see. God, you mean in terms of like, I did like a video that was critical of Utica. Yeah. It was called like Chrissy's Shitty Tour of Utica. And I just was like making fun of the town. I'm like, this is New York's Detroit. And then a local radio station in Utica picked it up, played it, and then like for maybe 6 weeks I was like getting trolled by like the residents of Utica. They're like, we're not all on meth. Like publicly they'd be like, fuck you, but in my DMs people would be like, yeah, there is a meth problem here. In terms of like, straight up censorship, that's been coming more so in the last few months. So I did a kind of a parody video called Kung Flu Fighting or whatever, and that was in response to Gal Gadot's Imagine video. It was like the black and white video with every actors acting, and they're actors and they're acting. I'd so much rather see an improvised, whatever it is you feel passionately about. Give me something ineloquent, rough, improvised, weird, not with most professional editing possible. That I'll buy more than this, like, oh, my agent set me up with this thing and I'm reading this line and you can see my eyes reading cue cards kind of a deal. And then one of the actresses in that video, like, she had a new book coming out. It was like a children's book about racial relations called like We Need More Purple People. And then like when I found that out, I was like doubly grossed out. But so anyway, I did like I'm definitely confusing the two parody videos I did, because there was Kung Flu Fighting, which was like a response to Imagine, and then there was like another black and white video that I did that I was just like, again, making fun of celebrities who think they're coming off woke or whatever. So that I got a huge blowback from, like, I guess the woke Asian community, and after about a month, it was taken down from Instagram because of hate speech, and all it was us singing the lyrics to Kung Fu Fighting. I said to them, like, you can say Kung Flu or Kung Fu, whatever you want. Kung Flu had been a trending hashtag, so. There was like Kung Flu, it was like everybody was Kung Flu Fighting, and then it would just be like next comedian singing a line, and that was really it. But the fact that was considered hate speech blows my mind, because I didn't write that song. Like, that song's been around since the 70s, but that enough people could complain to Instagram to get it categorized and taken down for hate speech is insane to me. So, it took them a month. But.
Well, Bertrand Russell said 100 years ago in his prediction of the technocracy that you won't have the arts, you won't have Shakespeare, you won't have literature, you won't have, all of that is going away. So if you think you're going to retain satire or comedy or any of this stuff, no. And by the way, I listened to your interview with, quite frankly, good.
Frank Valburo, yeah.
Yeah, we've done 2 or 3 shows, and I liked y'all's interview. And he was hitting on this. He was talking about how the technocracy that they're bringing in is at the top. It's beyond socialism, Marxism, fascism, all that. At the top, the people at the top of the system live lavishly, and then everybody underneath, lives in this totally controlled, technocratic, just nightmare grid, basically. So that's what I'm trying to get across here, is that you're not going to have comedians, you're not going to have entertainment, you're not going to have any of that stuff it's all going to be like synthetic and like just a production of some kind of machine. It's all going to be virtual garbage nonsense. The arts are going away. And so if everybody doesn't band together against censorship, it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, it's the most hypocritical thing ever because it's like, oh, we're banning comedy, right? Because it hurts people's feelings. But at the drop of a hat, Chrissy Teigan can say, oh, these were jokes. I was being sarcastic. My super creepy, questionable tweets about kids are fine because, oh, now I get to be funny. This is me. I was kidding. But like actual professional comedians can't do their job. It's like, it's precisely your point of like the people at the top, the rules kind of don't really apply to them and everybody else is just like powerless, but it's like we're not powerless because there are so many more of us, and I think we just have to be united together on the right stuff, like not be united in fear and in brainwashing and fighting each other over a manufactured race war. So
yeah,
it's frustrating.
totally fake, totally manufactured. Did you ever have any experiences in your entertainment career where like you had to come in this room, here's the goat, this kind of weird creepy, was there anything like that ever, like, oh, come to this island for the party and the after party?
I wish I would have gone. I would have been famous by now if I had gone to an island. I would have for sure been on Netflix by now. No, I mean, like, no, I was never offered anything like that. I think when you're definitely like a child star, like we did this episode, right, the other day with like Free Britney and like the MK Ultra stuff. I think like if you're in I think it's more like an LA thing, more like a California thing. Like, I don't know, unless you're in like the super New York elite, like sort of rich kids club, because you do hear about, with the Epstein stuff that certain families would like lend out their daughters, like basically sell them for a summer, to do with like, go intern with Mr. Epstein, like I grew up in Long Island and we weren't, we're like middle class. So I wasn't really like exposed to any of that at all. And then like with comedy's just like rough, and comedy's kind of like just gritty and dirty. Even if you're like an improv, you're sort of in a theater bubble, in that way. Stand-ups are more like out, and there's more diversity among stand-ups. Like they're mothers and fathers. They work full-time jobs. They're just, there's just different kinds of people in it more so. But it's not really, you don't get to that glamour stage until you just blow up, until
so you think it's more of a situation,
you
think it's more of a thing where when you do blow up, then you're kind of maybe invited to these other level parties, maybe.
It must be, right? Because like look at Chelsea Handler, and people think that perhaps that happened to Amy Schumer, like her comedy was very much one way and she became popular. Like her comedy was more aligned with like when she was dating Anthony Jeselnik, like that's when she really kind of blew up, and she was like a guy's girl and fun. And then a lot of people have a lot of animosity towards her when her point of view changed and she became more woke and more political and made sure she was seen at these protests and whatnot. And I don't know, I think people are allowed to have their journey and comics are allowed to like grow and change or whatever. And I think just because somebody's comedy changes, like you're not because somebody starts out one way creatively doesn't mean they have to stay on that track. Like I can't prove if she was like motivated by something else, to become more woke. But it's possible that when you do become more woke and you are sort of like, I'm with her, I'm sure you are exposed to the circles like more so where that can happen. Whereas if you stay in like the independent scene, you're putting out your own specials on YouTube, you're on like a Compound Media or a Gas Digital Network, you're not beholden to some like greater thing sort of plucking you up and raising you up. If you're more grassroots, getting your own fans, working on your brand that way, you're touring comedy on the road, you're able to fill the rooms because of, you've made your own fan base and you're putting content out regularly. But yeah, so stand-up comedy, less so glamorized unless you get more pushed up into that level. And I imagine like when you get to Chelsea Handler level, I would imagine like, hey, here's how you become more famous. These are the choices you make. Just look at Jimmy Kimmel. He sucks. He's not funny. He was at his best on The Man Show. And it's like, you just look at him and you're like, well, how did this guy get to host a late night show? Like, he is, I've seen like a glass of milk funnier than him. Like, I just never understood it. But then you're like, huh, okay.
Yeah, I remember the WikiLeaks too. Yeah. There was the email where Hillary was saying, oh, Colbert needs to do this, right? Showing that essentially to be at that level requires you to be basically a propaganda arm of the Democratic Party, more or less, in the case of Colbert.
Wow, it makes so much sense. It really does. And then you go, oh, like, it just seems like a lot of the people that are most pissed at Trump are the all same, you know, politically, make the same kind of jokes. Like, I would appreciate just more original jokes against Trump if that's your thing. But it's like when you see the news clips of like all the news stations sharing exactly the same talking points, and they're almost saying it's a script, you know. When you see that with comedy, it's very disappointing, because it's like, that's the whole point of comedy, is like your own voice.
You're supposed to be, you know, edgy, challenge the norms and all that. Lone Star for $20. I forgot 2 days ago he put in this super chat before I could get to it. He says, "Here's $20. I'm just paying tuition." Paying what tuition, dude? $20 university? That would buy like the pencil, right? Like, to be the most ghetto ass university.
Maybe to you.
Like,
for education.
Oh, he's paying me to educate him. Okay, well, I can do that.
Yeah.
Billy Hardigan, $3. My friends tell me that I'm good at roasting Jay Dyer. You're gay guyer. See, that's dumb. That's every. Start.
That's like middle school.
Well, everybody who tried to roast me did that. By the way, I'm going to ask you, as the comediette, you can to roast me, because we tried to get the nerds to roast me, but nobody could really. I could roast me better than the nerds did. One of many, 3886, $5. Let us see if this works. It did work, and I got your $5. Phil McCavity.
Feel my cavity.
Feel my cavity. This is like Bart Simpson level like names.
Pete the Hut.
Yeah,
right. More nuts.
I am a journalist digging deep into the secrets of Hollywood. You haven't seen anything yet. My sources tell me, and again, it runs off the screen, so. You guys, people think I'm censoring their super chats. It literally runs off the screen in Streamlabs. I cannot read. You have to do it like one line, y'all. Hank Moody says for $2, and there was that many O's. Woot woot, WWG1WA. That's a Q thing. Tall City for $5. Jamie and Chrissy, you are lovely as always.
Ooh. Thank you.
Has anyone seen the Pedogate 2020 video on BitChute? I've not seen. I know which one that is. I think I have seen that. But
I don't know if I have.
I feel like my two moms here. Like, there's my two dads, and then I've got, you know, it's like my two moms. Remember my two dads?
Yeah.
No. Is this a porn I should have seen?
Gross. No. You don't remember the show My Two Dads? Is it? Yeah. Paul Reiser.
Yeah, I remember
Paul
Two and a Half Men.
I could look like the bearded dude.
That was an 80s kids sitcom.
Yeah.
The girl had
Y'all are my two moms. Connor Booth for $10 says, what sort of people, if Ghislaine Maxwell doesn't die, will fall because of the case against her? Will it be Leslie Wexner? I mean, it would probably be a lot of people, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody knows there was a lot of people on the flight logs. There was a lot of prominent people. Even if they don't go to jail, it would kind of be public, you know, shaming, unless they just normalize all this.
That they're going to push to normalize it.
They're
all going to come out and say, we were scared and we were in the closet because what if you would do to us? But since there's all of these people that everyone likes, when they say that we're pedosexual, then people are going to start to accept that.
Right. Yeah. By the way, we got 440 nerds watching tonight.
Oh, wow. Hi, nerds.
Welcome.
Yeah, I do think there is a push to normalize it. Like, I haven't seen like watching TV or anything, but like like as far as Twitter goes, or like, you know, when I'm like on the internet, like, yeah, you'll see like this video, like, oh, what was it? It was Don Lemon. He was interviewing somebody, like I don't know if he was a scientist or something, and it was all about how we need to be more sympathetic towards pedophiles, and how like they didn't choose this, it's a sexuality, you know, we don't need to vilify them. And I was like, ugh, this is on the news, you know.
Dang.
It's wild. Yeah,
it's crazy how celebrities have this sort of past to be terrible people in real life, but as long as they do something that you like, then
you'll forgive them.
You'll forgive them. I mean, look at like John Lennon, you know, he beat his first wife and he abandoned his child, but people worship him like he's some kind of god of love, and just because he wrote some good songs, it just dismisses everything else that they do in their private life.
Yeah, and there's no perfect celebrity, there's no perfect role model or perfect, you know, like hero. And just like there's no like perfect comedian, you know what I mean? Like some of the best comedians don't make the best life choices, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't hold people accountable when they do like really awful shit. You know, it's like nobody's perfect. Like no, even among like regular people, non-entertainers, civilians, we call them, you know, like, so I wonder if that's part of the, I don't know, the allure, like, well, we'll just forgive the people that are like, well, Cosby, you can't take away that he was one of the best comedians.
Yeah,
like, so he drugged a few chicks. Well, what are you gonna do? But that definitely doesn't mean that people should be off the hook. Certainly not for some pedophile shit. That's the absolute worst.
I mean, look what happened to Bill Clinton with the Monica Lewinsky. Her life was ruined, and she's a laughingstock of the entire world, and nobody even remembers. It didn't hurt his career one bit.
I don't think her life was. I think she was working for some powerful people. Yeah. I think her life was ruined. I think she did what she was supposed to do. I don't know. Maybe her life was ruined, but she was doing what she was supposed to do. But anyway, Palmer L. I can never say my R's. I'll go into we talk
Southern. You have such a cute little Southern accent.
Palmer L. Rick for $10 says, "I'm just trying to show support for the great content, and that's how you do it. You send me what I call love points, aka dollars. Ooh. If you love me, you give me your money." Mm-hmm. Penny Cedar for $4.20. Oh, get it? $4.20. Do you get it?
Penny Cedar?
No, $4.20.
Oh,
get it?
You know,
says
the pot code.
Matt Dillahunty, our big debate that we had with Matt Dillahunty, said that there's nothing wrong with being a pedo as long as you're not a pederast. Okay, well, I'm sure that's some weird atheist logic that he came up with if he said that.
Wait, a pederast?
That's weird, but
which one is that?
Is that when you actually act on it?
I guess so. Oh. I guess that's what that means. Yeah, I guess that's what that means. Yeah, that's just what I mean. We beat Matt in the debate, so that's why Matt's mad about that still. That's what that's all about. All right, Chrissie Mayr, I've got your link below. I have a mean roast of you, but I'm gonna save it in case you come back, and then we can do more of like a roast.
Really? I mean, like, I think what we set up at the top was probably the best as far as roasting goes. Like, yeah, like the jacket, you definitely look like a preacher, minister type, you know. I mean, I feel like that would be my, without knowing you and researching you, usually a typical roast, you write for like weeks.
You gotta know some gossip, right? You gotta know some hot gossip.
Yeah, you gotta dig. So right now, this would just be purely on looks.
Well, I'm freaking hot, so we know you're not gonna roast me on looks. I mean, I'm joking. So all right, you can come back if you want to in the near future.
Ooh,
if you would like to. We have over 440 nerds tonight, and I want to tell all those nerds to go. And if you're interested, if you liked the material, I've got her channel linked below. Chrissy is at, well, I don't know. It's a string of random shit. Like a bunch of weird.
Yeah, follow the Chrissie Mayr podcast on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud. That's the free one. And if you like comedy and you are not about like the PC woke type shit, then you would probably really love Compound Media, because there's shows like In Hot Water, which have comedians Aaron Burke and Gino Visconti.
Opie and Anthony.
Cumia. If you were an Opie and Anthony fan, this is Cumia's network, Compound Media. Michael Malice has a show on it. There's just a lot of really great content. And also my show is The Wet Spot, which is the sex, dating, relationship show where we'll have like porn stars, comedians. It's fun. And like right now it's just like interviews because, COVID is sort of limiting the guests coming into New York. But still like really great shows, great interviews. And follow me on, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok sometimes.
You're popular
Parler.
on Twitter. If you were a high school superlative, it would have a picture of you and it would just say Twitter. You're like
thanks.
the popular Twitter person.
Thanks.
Right.
Yeah, I like Twitter, but it's it's almost like it's like a love-hate relationship. Like they're cracking. There's so much censorship. Like they're really so obvious about it right now, especially today. This news that just came out today. So I think the Q people maybe will just have to get more creative, or I don't know, get more on Parler. Like, will there be more of an exodus from Twitter? Although that's where like the mainstream, that's where most people are. So it's like, should we really be leaving if we're trying to like push people to stay observant and stay curious? So we'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll have to just get more creative. It's scary though.
Now that your roses is blue, light hits the something.
On the grave.
Anyway, somebody sent me $5 and said you have to sing "Kiss from a Rose." I don't even remember the lyrics, so that's all you get. You get that.
Phil was a great singer.
My power, my
Pleasure, my pain,
baby.
To me, I'm not gonna do
One of many 3886 $5. Psychopaths are supposed to be also genetic. Is there a free pass for Stalin?
But did you know that
It's a
when
weird
it
ass
snows...
question, dude. I don't even know how to begin to answer that. Yeah, Stalin gets a free pass. How's that? All right. Thank you very much, Chrissie Mayr. It was a fun talk.
Thanks for having me, Jay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, follow me on all the things.
Yes.
People
will.
Yeah.
All right.
This was great.
Absolutely. You have a good night, and thanks for coming.
Love you guys. Bye.
Later. My power, my pleasure, my pain. That was a weird request. I don't even know the words to that. We do have some sponsors if you guys want to support the sponsors. Like in the show description, right? Remember that My Patriot Supply, you can get storable food. Nothing wrong with having storable food. I mean, if things go bad, there's social unrest, there's things going crazy. I used to think that prepping kind of stuff was crazy, but not anymore because of things are crazy, dude. So if you look at where the country is going, it's not a bad idea. And if you click on that link, you can get it under my name. And I think there's a discount. You get $100 off of a 4-week supply of storable food. And then we got our boy, chalk.com. That's some Bays stuff. That is some get your man juice back. A lot of low man juice people out there wells running dry. The little boys downstairs are not doing, the hamsters are not running in their wheels. They're not making that juice, right? Because of low T. And I'm not talking Teigan. I'm talking low T. So be over there at thatchalk.com and put in JAY. The link, you see that link there. If you go to chalk.com, put in that JAY link and you get a discount on those Bays man supplements giving you manpower man juice. Stone Cold. What? For $3.16. What?
Oh, we got a little whammy guy.
No, if you've not been watching what I've been doing, we've had, ever since we had to go to Streamlabs, we get that little gay,
I like him.
that little meth head zombie that runs. And he just goes, that little meth head zombie. Whoa! Guard Goldsmith for $25. I love supporting the community. Well, thank you. Welcome to, that's a new name. I don't recognize that name. So you are a new nerd, and we don you a new nerd in the Jay's Analysis nerd community. You're welcome. As long as you keep throwing them monies, throw them love points, I'll keep talking.
We'll sing something else.
Here's look at that. Is that, wait, I read the wrong. I'm sorry, I read it wrong. Guard Goldsmith for $25 said, hey, you all, thank you for a great conversation. Well, thank you, Guard Goldsmith. And then our church is a very, very, very fine church. Fine church.
I like that song.
He says, I love supporting the community. I got those mixed up. Look at that. $50. We had to get rid of her to actually get some money coming in. So take that, Chrissy. How about when she comes back, I'll be like, we had to get rid of you before the money started coming in. Aww. I'm just joking, dude. It's roast.
I'm not good at roast.
No, you're not. You're too nice. You're too nice to roast.
I can't do it.
You're like, you're cute. That's your roast. You're not as cute as you were yesterday. That's your best roast.
Yeah.
Welcome, Guard Goldsmith. You are now a bona fide nerd. Richard Gitmo. Richard Gere is at Gitmo with squirrels. Yes, we're gonna call it Richard Gitmo now.
We need JB Wave album. Yeah.
Have I ever done a Stone Cold? I don't know how to Stone Cold Steve Austin talks. I remember Diamond Dallas Page. Remember that? That's all I remember. Grace Asher, what's up? She knows which stream to come to. She left that weak Tristan stream to come over here to this stream with like little AIDS over there trying to do streams. Little AIDS doing his streams. Little AIDS can't even rap. Can't battle rap. What's up, James Dean? Randy Churchill. I knew that was you, bro. I know who Randy Churchill is. Longtime Jason Elsa supporter. Welcome. We're just kind of talking smack right now, just running out the clock. It's the fourth quarter. We're just running down the clock.
More song requests.
They already gave us $50. They're like, we're done. The Dangerfield says Jamie is the bomb.
On thebomb.com, baby.
People on my chat love you more than me. I'm jealous, but they say all of the chats love us better than Tristan, which is not hard. Tristan, your boy Tristan over there. Your boy Tristan over there, he's trying to do he's trying to make a igloo out of mud for his family. Trying to make a mud igloo.
Someone said Jay and Jamie should do voice impressions of one another. Can you do me?
Jamie actually does. She's pretty good at girl voices.
Can you do me?
I can't do you.
Why?
I can't do any girl because I have that high tea. I got that chalk.com man juice. I got that tea juice. I don't mean transition juice. I mean that testosterone juice down there where the hamsters are running. The hamsters, my little hamsters, are making that man juice.
I'm Jay Dyer. Debate me. Essence Energy Distinction.
That was kind of funny. Yeah, that's all I do is just like, debate me. Essence Energy Distinction. Debate me.
That's what roasting.
Debate me. That was a pretty good roast, though. Little AIDS raps with a stutter.
Do Arnold, Jamie Hall.
While he's making that homemade butter. Huh?
Do Arnold. You are not me. I am me. Mm-mm. No.
Anyway. I think we're done. Nobody's giving any more low points, so I think we're done. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's talk. We had a fun time on the Free Britney stream with Isaac and Sam Tripoli, so I thought we'd talk to Chrissy. And I wanted to have more comedians on here. We've had, 3 or 4 over the years. We've had your boy Sam Tripoli. I had Chris Crofton, Nashville-based comedian, on here a long time ago. He was one of the earliest interviews. Was Chris Crofton, who's a well-known Nashville comic. And then we had Tripoli. I know we've had some other comedians. Have we had some
Jim
other
Bob?
Jim Bob counts as a comedian. He is funny. He does count. We give
Benny
him.
Wills?
Benny is definitely a comedian. Yep. And then we befriended some big name comedians, but we can't get them to come on. So, but maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll get Guttermain on here. But shout out to Guttermain. Anyway, we got another. Whoa, dude! Wow. Death by Snoo, $100. Jay and Jamie are a lovely couple. You are lovely. If you send me $100, I would have sang you anything you want. But look, here we go. Look at that money coming in. Can I hear a foghorn leghorn Southern preacher? I said it now. You got a bad case of the gout now. If you put your gout up there on the screen right now, underneath a little bit of your left breast testicle, there. I said now let me heal the gout under your left breast testicle, your breasticle. You know what body part that is? Rusty Shackle for $10. No, that was Rusty.
Oh, I like that name. Do you know who that is?
But give this person a shout out because they give $100.
Death by Snoo XX. Thank you very much. We could use that. Do you know who Rusty Shackelford is?
Yeah, he's a longtime Jason Ellis supporter.
That is the name that the guy in King of the Hill uses as his
I did not know
fake
that.
name because he's a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, well, that makes sense. I didn't even know that.
That is Dale's fake name.
Okay, so I need you here to decode stuff.
Yeah. I like King of the Hill.
Tony Pecker. That's an awesome name. Tony Pecker.
420. Yeah, man.
420.
420, man.
420, man. He says, Tristan is bitch made. Caught him eating lettuce the other day. I think that was supposed to be a bar. Tristan bitch made. Caught him eating lettuce with his maid. All right. I'll take that. All right. Thank you guys very much. It's been good. We got part 2 of the Apocalypse shows. Next up, Jamie and I are going to do Virtual Worlds movies. Remember the Virtual Worlds movies?
Yeah, and we also have a love show to do.
You mean the next installment in relationships?
Yes.
Okay, so that'll be up soon this week, you guys. And then I got a stream with Snack. We're going to cover the weird iconoclasm cult mentality coming up with your boy Snack out of France. Over there out of France. Anyway, everybody have a good night.